standing on the shoulders of greatness, which are the people that came before us to do the great things to get us where we are today. And those are the people. Those are our senior citizens that most of that rehab money goes into work with. So we wouldn't have that. We do 120, 130, 140 houses a year in the rehab space. It's all owner occupied. We don't obviously touch rental to help the landlord out, but we're going to help the person that owns their home if they qualify for income and the other compliance needs for the grant. And we're going to jump in and we're going to make it happen. And we're going to do it with excellence. And we're going to act like it's our home and work with that family and get it done. So it's about plugging gaps. It's about, for us, it's this new, not new, we've been doing it for a while, but it's the rehab process. And this, I step back and look at it strategically and from a financial standpoint. Like I'm layering everything in. How much money is the restore going to make? How much money can we get from CDBG? How much of that CDBG money, easy for me to say, is admin? Will that admin cover the expense of the staff overseeing that program? So the admin percentage, it doesn't need to be huge, but it's darn important. Because if it's not there, then I crank up a program, we're doing good stuff, but now I've created a net negative. And I have to plug that hole somewhere with something to make up for the deficit, right? It's like, yay, I added units. Boo, now I'm losing an extra $100,000 a year because I'm doing, $1 million worth of projects, but I'm losing more money. And so when the money can come in with enough admin support, then that makes the math simple and work well. But it's a wonderful program. We're blessed to have it. We're moving from, forever we bought lots. We just framed our 1,000th house the other day.
Yeah, no.
I shouldn't answer my wife's call. Probably not. I guess you don't know where I am.
Let's see if we can get some fish.
We just raised the walls on our 1,000th home. And we bought infill lots. Just vacant lots here in Worth Heights, all throughout Fort Worth and a lot of Tarrant County. But that price point's up 700%. Forever, and I've been with Habitat 27 years. So forever we're paying $5,000 to $10,000 a lot, and we cannot find enough lots at $60,000. And that, $5,000 to $10,000 a lot, 2017, 2018. So that's not that long ago. That's a huge increase. So what that's done to us is we're leaving we'll still buy infill lots if we can find them and afford them, but we're going into the raw land development business. And that's a whole new ball of whatever, twine. That's difficult to work with. A lot of risk, a lot of complexity. And so I'm hoping and wanting to keep the rehab thing going, but find some dollars from the CPG world to help take care of the larger land development issues that we have going on.
Before you pass the mic, I've heard a story the other day about a lady in the south side who you're helping to build a house. Who is that individual?
Well, if I can think of her name, what is that young lady's name? Maybe it's Opal Lee, Dr. Opal Lee. Maybe a person or two have heard of that dynamo in our city. May we all be blessed with her energy and longevity, not to mention her obvious character. So yeah, Opal's a wonderful friend. She was on our founding board of directors. And God moves in mysterious ways. I don't understand those ways, and I never will. My brain's way too small. But she was on our board. The terrible thing that happened to her on 940 East Handy, where they moved in 80 plus years ago. The racist mob showed up because they didn't like the color of their skin, and they chased them out of the house, and they fled, and then a few days later the mob burned the house down, right? And so Opal's a little girl at that time, and she said her parents never really talked about it. Opal didn't tell me the story until we happened to buy the lot. And so I didn't know we bought a lot, because that's what we do, right? Buy a lot, build a home. And so we bought the lot to build a home, and she called me up one day, and I see Opal on my phone. Hi, Opal, how you doing? She's like, hey, you guys own my lot at 940 East Handy. I was like, we do? And then I didn't know it was yours. And so anyway, she then told me that terrible story, right? And I was like, well, hold on, let me figure out, I guess you want to buy it. And she called about it every now and then. She looked up on the Tarrant Appraisal District rolls and saw that Trinity Habitat for Humanity home. And so I was like, well, let me check, let me make sure we haven't sold it to somebody or promised it to another family. And I was like, here's where it came from, let it be committed someplace. And it wasn't, and so then we didn't sell it to her, of course, we gave it to her. And now, the history maker came in and just started building the home. We did a groundbreaking on Opal's birthday in October, and a couple of weeks ago, we did the wall raising, raised the first wall. And hopefully, if everything processes along, then we will move her in on June 14th. We wanted something called Juneteenth, just for grins, but believe it or not, Opal has commitments to places. She's a little bit in demand, and she had a prior commitment in Dallas that she couldn't get out of, so we moved on June 14th if everything goes well. So anyway, she's a sweetheart. We're blessed to have her in our community, blessed to have this full circle, serendipitous thing happen where something was wrong with the taken for their family, and now it's restored. 8 decades too late, it should never have had to happen, right? So it's a bittersweet thing, and so it's lucky to have her in our life.